video, we're going to be making pulled pork for some pulled pork sandwiches tomorrow, but we need to make a dry rub on it overnight tonight. We're gonna use some mustard. We got some ingredients in here: brown sugar, kosher salt, chili powder, garlic, onions, some black pepper, and 3/4 cup of paprika. So first I'm gonna make this dry rub. I'm gonna put it all together. I'm gonna mix it up really good. And then what we're going to do is the night before we're gonna make our pulled pork sandwiches, we're gonna let this marinate and rest overnight with some saran wrap, some mustard. So I'm gonna mix this up here really good. And what I like to do is I have a Tupperware that anything I don't use, I just put it in the Tupperware and I'll reuse it later, so you don't have to waste it. So I'm gonna make this dry rub, and then I'm gonna put some mustard on this pork shoulder. We're gonna rub it in, then we're gonna wrap it up in saran wrap. We're gonna seal it real tight, and we're gonna let it rest overnight, and then tomorrow we'll put it on the barbecue. All right, I'll put some mustard on here. Put some of this dry rub on here. Move this over here. We'll start out getting some dry rub on this. Season are pretty liberal because we're gonna wrap it up overnight anyway. So what I like to do is put a lot of the seasoning on here and make sure we rub it in here. And these chef gloves really help so you don't get all this mustard stuck to your hands. So we'll get this rubbed in here really nice. Get some mustard on the sides here. Get that nice and on the sides. This mustard helps this rub to stick. So we're gonna go ahead and we'll flip this over. Down. Spray some of this butter on, this mustard on here. Fantastic. All right. Okay, get this rubbed in. Just nice and rubbed. Touch it. All right. Get both sides nice and rubbed. I'll get these edges, and we'll get it all wrapped up here. Let's sit overnight next to a nice bead on here. All right, then we just wrap it up in saran wrap and we stick it in the refrigerator overnight, and then when we come back tomorrow morning, we will basically be ready to go. All right, so we let our pork rest overnight. I had it nice and wrapped up with saran wrap. Looks like it's got some good color. Turned to Masterbuilt 800 to 225. I'm gonna unwrap this. We're gonna use a probe today. Get it about, I'm gonna say 190 inside temperature, and then we'll take it off. We'll put it in some butcher's paper. We'll wrap it, and we'll get to inside temperature to about 205, and then our pulled pork will be ready to take off. So we're gonna start our barbecue, get it ready to go. All right, for this pulled pork, I'm gonna use some apple wood. We're gonna throw some chunks in this hopper. I got it warming up, getting ready. So let me go ahead and fill this hopper with some apple wood. And you can use apple wood, you can use whatever kind of smoke flavor you want. It really depends on what your rub is. My family really likes the apple wood or cherry, so I'm gonna throw some apple in here. I'm gonna fill up our hopper with some charcoal. Get it ready. Get this going in here. Now that we got it ready, we'll get her smoking. And that's, so we got our apple wood on, and we'll start getting ready for our pulled pork sandwiches. All right, here we are out at the Masterbuilt 800. We got our temperature running up here, set to 225. It's at 224. We got probe 1 working. Here's what she looks like on the grill. Got our pork shoulder ready to go, and we're gonna let it sit here for a couple hours, come back and check the inside temperature. We'll use the Wi-Fi connection for our Masterbuilt 800, and we'll continue to check what that temperature is. We wanted to get it to about 190. All right, this is what it looks like on the iPhone. Temperature reading on the Wi-Fi is 165. Looks like we need to go out there and start putting our apple vinegar spray on. So we'll go do that. All right, we're at the 6.5 hour mark, and we're starting to get a nice crust on here. I have some vinegar, some apple cider vinegar with a half and half of water, and we're just gonna go ahead and continue to baste it, get it nice and wet. We're at about 165-degree temperature inside, so we're still waiting to get to that 190 mark before we start our butcher paper wrap. Get a nice good coat on there. We're starting to get a nice good bark, so looking good. All right, here we go. We're at the 160 or the 195 mark. So I'm gonna take it off. I let it go a little too long. We're gonna put it on the butcher's paper. I'm gonna wrap it up, and then we're gonna put it back on. So let me wrap this thing up nice and tight. Let me get this probe out of here. So I wanna keep it nice and tight, like just wrapping it like a Christmas present. Although if you ask my kids, I don't wrap this good for Christmas. Okay. Wrap this up nice and tight on the butcher's paper. Then we'll put it back on here in the butcher's paper, and I'm gonna turn it over nice and tight on that butcher's paper. Put the probe back in. All right, I got the temperature read of 202 from the Masterbuilt 800. We're gonna give a little test, see what we're at here. Man, it goes in like butter. 193, 193. Ooh, 211, 200. All right, we're about 193. We're gonna stay at that. We're gonna wait till it gets up to 202. All right, here we go. Let's take another reading, see what we got. Oh, 202. Ooh, 208. 201. 206. 201. Out here on the end, 206. All right, so it's ready to go. So we're gonna take this out of the probe. Get her out of here. We're gonna let it rest. All right, now we have our pork shoulder here. We're gonna get it out of the butcher's paper. We're gonna migrate it from this butcher's paper into this glass bowl here, where we start to pull this thing apart here. Still a little hot. I let it sit. Look at this. I literally can just break it off here as I'm moving it over. Just in chunks as it's coming off this bone that's here. I'll try to keep it together. Move this over here and just kind of twist it, and we'll make pulled pork. We'll pull it apart. Look at that. Look at that. Just falling apart. Literally just falling apart. Nice ring. Look at that smoke on that meat. Looking real good. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take these, put these biscuits in the oven, get them nice and brown. We're gonna strip this pork out of here, throw on this shrimp. I'm gonna make some shrimp on the barbecue for the family. And then we're gonna put this in some sandwiches and take a little bit of barbecue sauce and put it over the top. And then we're gonna eat. All right, we took it out of the butcher's paper, split it all up. I'm gonna continue to split this. And if you look, you can see the nice smoke flavor on the outsides of this. Nice, good applewood smoke into this pork shoulder. Took out the bone, pretty big bone. Give that to the dog later. He'll love it. And then I'm gonna put some, put this bread in the oven here. We're gonna get the bread nice and hot and crusted. Then we'll go ahead and take that bread, put it in here, put some your favorite barbecue sauce, put it on there, and you have your pulled pork sandwiches. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for next week. Thanks for joining me at Uncle Dan's Backyard Barbecue.